In a world where every Rob, Steve, and Lane has a podcast, two good brothers will try to rise above the rest. Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder invite you to pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. Welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast where Kidder plays with a cat for most of the show because he finds it entertaining. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the cat tamer, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Howie Blues. Meow, that was a good one, I must say. Thank you very much. Yes, let's head on over there for Orion. He's all amped up for this episode, and I am too. Why? Because we gotta. No, I mean, we don't really have to, but I am really excited because this episode is carefully curated with some of the moments that you may have missed on. And I'm happy to share these with you. And what do we do on this episode? The best moment is, of course, sharing a cold beverage. So we got to have a what's on tap because we got to have something to drink for this episode, right?
Yep.
Okay. You start us off. You have a choice beverage ready to go.
Yeah, I do, and I picked this Kidder specifically for this episode because this episode's going to feature some clips from a past guest who had this on the show, and I happened to find it, and so I thought I'd try it. That's right, I have a Leinenkugel's chocolate dunkel. That's right. Kidder's already laughing because he knows that this is the beer of JS Gunslinger, the official armorer of the Triple B. And yep, I found one of these, and his description of it was alcoholic chocolate milk. So I'm going to put this to the test with this. To give what I can here of information, it's 5.5% alcohol by volume. It's lager with cocoa nibs and natural chocolate flavors. The description on the back here. Leinenkugel's Chocolate Dunkel is a smooth, drinkable, and decadent lager that delivers notes of semi-sweet chocolate and a surprisingly crisp and refreshing finish. It's the perfect beer for those special holiday gatherings or a chilly winter night. So that's our description on here. We're going to put this this chocolate milk thing to the test here. And for the record, I don't even like chocolate, so I'm doing this just because I could. Okay, I will give him this. It does smell like chocolate milk. It does. Okay. Give it a sip. I mean, it definitely has a chocolate milk note, but I would not say that it is like purely alcoholic chocolate milk. But it's not bad. I mean, if you are a fan of chocolate milk, I can see how you could drink a bunch of these. Me being not a fan of chocolate, it'll be all right. So, yeah.
Okay. JS let us down. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying that I don't 100% agree with his assessment of this. You know, but I mean, yeah, it's got that smell that is just very much, you know, it brought me right back to high school when you sit down at the lunch table and you crack open the carton of chocolate milk. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely got that smell. And I do get that taste. But yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. glad it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Well, I am going to join you with another Liney. I have the Leinenkugel's Toasted Bach this evening in the fine print. If it'll actually focus, it's probably too close or something. There you go. A refreshing take and on a traditional Bach beer. So 5.1% alcohol per volume, and it's a 12 fluid ounce bottle here from Leinenkugel's. And nope, nothing else really in there. 6 generations of family brewing tradition. The pride of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. It even has serving facts on here. We already said the 12 fluid ounces, one serving per container. So there's only one serving in here, ladies and gentlemen. Just enjoy that. We already said the 5.1% alcohol per volume. 174 calories in this bad boy. 16.9 grams of carbs. Oh, no. There's no fat, though, and there's 1.9 grams of protein. Yeah, protein. Yeah. All right. And if I remember, this is not a pry-off, so we get the handy-dandy opener right here. Maybe. No, I guess it is a pry-off. Well, never a dull moment on Beer, Blues, and BS. Thanks for watching. Let's see. I promise I'm not toasted. Yeah, this has a very nice Bach smell to it. So I do appreciate the Shiner. Well, that's a brand, but the Bach taste that it's emanating in its aroma anyway. So let's try this here toasted Bach. What's nice about it is it has the very much Bach rich taste to it, and then you get a hint of the normal Leinenkugel beverage taste. I mean, we've had the summer shandies and a few of the other Leinenkugel's products before, and they all have that similar, I don't want to call it an aftertaste, but they all have similar tasting notes, and this fits into the family is just with the toasted Bach. So this one's pretty good. I give this one 4 out of 5. Mm-hmm. What about you there, Howie Blues? What do you
I was going to say, I think I would give it a 3. Maybe a 0.5 higher if you're a big fan of chocolate or chocolate milk. You know, maybe it would bring it up to a 3.5 for the person, but yeah, I'm probably sitting at about a 3 with it. So
my only argument with it is if I want chocolate milk, I'm going to go drink some chocolate milk. So, and I love chocolate milk. Now, the thicker, rich beer like that, maybe the brewmaster, local geek, yes, the Triple B brewmaster himself, maybe he's got something in store for us to get together one of these days. By the way, thinking of the local geek, did he send you a message asking you for your top 2 choices on the list?
No.
Oh, man.
No, he didn't.
Well, that's something to give him shit about. So the next time he's on, let's do it.
Man, local geeks sending cryptic messages to Kidder.
Since I don't want it to be like a secret or anything, the question was a list of different types of beers. So I will pose the question to you on behalf of the local geek, even though he has no idea this is happening because this episode won't be out for a while. Pilsner, peanut butter porter, a sour, wee heavy, which also known as a Scottish ale, a brown ale, a cider, or an IPA. Which of those would you like? Top 2 choices.
Peanut butter porter would be interesting, but I do enjoy porters. I might choose the sour.
So my choices, those are good choices. I not a fan of peanut butter porters. Just the Pilsners, sometimes. The Scottish ale would be good, but then I was like, oh, maybe it's one of those thicker Scottish ales because he calls it the wee heavy. So if it's going to be heavy, like maybe. IPA out of here, leaving the brown ale and the sour. Because the cider, maybe. So my choice is again brown ale or sour, and he wants to make a sour, but basically going to do it so he can't make anything else in the fermenter at the same time. So someday, it's like, well, why let me choose it then if you're not going to make? So I don't know. There we go. Anyway, that's the local geek, your Beer Blues and BS brew master. So he's almost the B cubed, I guess. Could be.
Yeah. Maybe. Possibly.
Maybe. Anyway, that's too much thinking for this time. We're here to have fun, not to do algebra or something stupid. This is all about fun. So give me a quick rundown of what we're about to witness on this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS while we take a sip of our tasty beverages.
Yeah. So if you, the audience, are seeing or listening to this, what this is, we've talked about it. Kidder and I end up recording a little bit before the show and a little bit after the show because Google is sometimes weird. Usually you guys get to see a snippet of this in the behind the curtain section at the end of every episode. Usually I choose a really good, funny moment, put it at the end, and use it to kind of be one last humorous send-off. That said, we have hours of recorded content that some of it is very much show-worthy. Some of it is really not, unless you are really interested in like the nuts and bolts of Kidder and I running the podcast side of things. A lot of times it's us talking numbers and things like that. But there are these great conversations that have happened, and I've always thought that some of these need to end up back in the show. And so what I have done is slowly been kind of collecting these and kind of putting them together to form an episode. So what you're going to get to basically get are clips from past shows. The segment kind of runs from episode 4 through episode 12. So you'll get to actually also get some content from Brother Nico will show up. Rude Boy Kyle will show up. The Brewmaster will show up in here. But also then it picks up again. There's a stretch that I haven't gone through and curated yet. But we'll pick up again at episode 37, where we had JS Gunslinger on, which is why I'm drinking the chocolate dunkel. He gave us some really great stuff in the episode that I had to cut due to time. So we've added that in there. But this has also happened as of late. As Kidder, we've been averaging about 2.5 hours an episode, and I've been having to cut chunks of that out, about a half an hour every episode. So altogether, missing that chunk from episodes, 13 through 36, Kidder, I have like 6 hours worth of content. Now, I'm not going to play all that tonight in this episode. So here you're going to get a 2-hour chunk, about a third of that content. it has been diced up, sliced up, and kind of made to be a bit of a running conversation, but there might be some odd gaps, and I might pop back in here every now and then to go, hey, we're going to transition to talking about this. So just so you know, because sometimes there's not a smooth transition. We don't have Kidder popping in every time to drop one of his classic Kidder transitions. But that's what we got. And so enjoy some of this bonus content, these conversations. They might not always be at this high level upbeat. Sometimes it's a little bit more relaxed and chill as we're calmly talking after the show. But there's some great topics on here and such. A wide variety of things, including, Kidder, I'll throw this out there. There's a spoiler. What not to order at McDonald's. So that's about as much of a spoiler as I can give you right at the moment. And we should kick it over to the clips. Well, everybody, Kidder's gone to sleep. Good night. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Shortest episode ever.
Yeah, we talked for over 2.5 hours. And then on the other half, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Yeah. Hey, we might get more people watching through a whole episode then.
You have a very good point. Very, very good point.
We might even get feedback. Why don't you guys make all your episodes this short?
That's very depressing. Because we don't get any feedback to begin with.
Actually, I got feedback today.
You got feedback?
I got feedback today.
Who gave you feedback?
The coworker.
Somebody throw a brick through your window?
No,
you sons of bitches. Stop doing that podcast. It's a waste of internet bandwidth. Aw.
Wouldn't that be great if we just had our first hater before our first real fan?
Yeah. You've made it then. Somebody hates your show so much they find your house and throw a brick through the window. Wonderful.
Yeah. Hey, at least in less than a month it's not my house anymore, so
you have a point.
I do have a point.
I've had some feedback.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. One of my coworkers has checked out an episode, at least part of an episode, and he didn't know that we were doing a podcast, and said that he was pleasantly surprised for the portion that he watched.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's good. That's good. I think you and I have talked about before, I think it'll grow.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And our friend.
That was a very good point.
So you said you had some positive feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. Coworker of mine. He enjoyed the show. He liked our banter. He liked our chemistry.
Yeah.
So it's good. It was good.
Yeah, it's not like we've been putting up with each other for like 20 years.
Yeah, not at all. Complete strangers.
The hell are you? How did I get on this channel? I was trying to listen to music. This is crap.
No, yeah, he had listened to the newest episode, so episode 6.
Ah.
So. Yeah.
Perfect.
Listen to it while driving down to the Welk Homestead. So. He told me he's not going to necessarily listen to all the episodes.
Oh, man.
Well, only because he's only got so much time to listen to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's got to cycle through. But he said he'd be checking some more out. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, can't complain. At least it's positive feedback,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it.
somebody who's not related to me actually listened to the show.
Yeah. Well, I've listened to the show.
Any feedback?
The bald guy sucks. The
Yes.
local geek, he has been watching and has been enjoying our shows and banter and such.
Oh,
So that's
that's
nice.
good. I like to just think that it's entertaining enough that, even if you're not into all of the topics we are into, that people will find some enjoyment in it. So, trying to.
Yeah. My coworker was like, "Yeah, you started talking about hockey," and I was like, "I don't know anything about hockey." So I went to the next thing, and he started talking about wrestling, and I didn't know anything about wrestling, so I went to the next thing, and we talked about alcohol, and then I had something else to do. So,
and that's like, as much as it takes me having to listen through every episode to get those time codes, I think it's worth it. For people to be able to go, don't really want to hear about this topic, I'll just skip it.
He was
totally
like,
fine.
"Good on you for putting the time codes in." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll pass that along."
Well, it's good to know, because, like, I think I've talked about, I end up seeing/hearing the episode like 3 times, because there will be, right now as we do the episode, then there's while I'm editing the episode, and then I listen through to do the time codes after the edit.
Sure.
So,
good work.
Thanks.
I'm also very disappointed that nobody commented on our posts and whatnot.
Oh, the review one?
Yeah, like anything.
It's been a week, and I'll talk about that on the show, because, but I'm wondering if there's not, some and still. I'd almost bet money he shows up on Raw.
Sorry, you were saying.
What was I saying? Something good. It's gone.
We're getting old as because, oh yeah, with the one. Huh?
Yeah. What was I even talking about? It was something about, don't really want to talk about my week, but wow, it's amazing. It's just gone. I can almost stop the recording, watch it, and find out what I was talking about. Because it's gonna bug me. It's gonna bug me. Like, from now on, I'm gonna be like, what were we talking about? I had a point. There was a reason for what I was talking about, and now it's just
go ahead.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You can.
It's too much work, man. That's too much work.
Too much work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't talk about, like, everything that went on this week, just because some of it is, there's personnel issues and things like that. But needless to say, it's a long, long week. I'm very tired.
Yeah. I get it.
I put down nicknames into the topic list.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could talk about the origins of things like Jake and Elwood.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since you're wearing the shirt.
Right.
But even the, I don't know if you want it.
Oh, McKinnon right up. Oh, what? Offside bullshit. You. Sorry.
I was going to say, because you could talk about Kidder if you wanted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Definitely I could talk about Howard Blues. So that's a topic. That's something.
Look, I'm only halfway through this beer, and we've made it, 5 clips in? So can we, get these things moving? That.
Man, we got quite the show here. What's on tap? Capitals versus Rangers, Blood and Guts, your surprise preview, Shotgun Blues, clip art. This is a pretty big episode 10.
We always have a big time episode.
And when we don't, we call Kyle.
Hell yeah.
What are you guys chit-chatting about tonight? Nothing in particular?
The usual, what's on tap, what are we watching, what's on the old gaming list.
Yeah.
Probably touch on hockey a little bit, wrestling a little bit, and...
Sure. Well, if you want me to hop on, I can go fire up the laptop. And I got my tall vodka tonic ready to go.
Oh, good. We're gonna make it interesting then.
Yeah.
You got a different vodka this time, or no? You weren't drinking vodka last time. You're drinking.
I was doing the Goose Island bourbon barrel. Yep.
But the barrel has run dry.
I can run downstairs and fire it up. And...
Well, yeah.
All right.
The invite has been sent.
That sounds good. And Jaco sent you an email invite to the meet link.
Perfect.
Did you send which email did you send it to? The Rude Boy email?
I've got access to either one, so.
Oh, he said correct. Oh, here we go. Power play for the Avalanche. 2 minutes for the trip. So, sweet. Yeah, he's right in front of the linesman and the official. Like, what a moron. All right, sweet. Well, hello again to Jess. And sorry to steal. Hey, I mean, you could come join in too. Be the mysterious figure in the background, like making faces at him.
If I didn't have a 10-hour training tomorrow, I probably would.
Oh.
Yeah, she's got to get recertified so that she can teach lifeguards. So.
Well, that's good because only you can prevent forest fires. Wait a minute. Wait, that's not what they're there for.
Say no to drugs.
Yeah, and no drugs, kids. Awesome. Well, we'll just chill for you, and
yeah.
Thanks for letting us borrow them.
Yeah, no problem.
That was to Jess. Like I said, you're not excluded either. This isn't the boys only club.
I know.
We need some actual talent too.
We'll get her to join one of these times.
I can only imagine the stories that she's gonna tell. So here's a third-party view from about all of these clowns. That'd be good.
Careful, Kidder. You're opening us up to the Wives podcast.
Yeah, I know I'm opening us up to the Wives podcast where everybody sits in for us.
Yeah, they'll get more views than us.
Probably.
I totally get what you're saying.
That's because they look better than we do.
All we have to do is start talking and we'll be fine.
Sweet. Well, we'll chill and
get set up and logged on. And...
all right. Mario Ferraro, 2 minutes with the trip. You fire up the Ferrari and head on home to San Jose. All right, bro. We'll catch up with you in a bit. And Jess, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Have a good night, and we'll chat soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So, two things.
Number one, that was
One.
recorded. Oh.
Well, okay, so three things. One, we got that on tape. That's great. That might be the behind the curtain. Second thing, one of the things I was going to tell you that I have noticed in all of the editing is that here, when I look at the Google meeting, my stuff is all backwards. Yeah, but Google actually records it correctly.
Right.
So there's
ranting in.
There's
2 minutes for boarding. Probably. There's a sorry. Oh no! A stick to the face. Damn it.
Yeah. So there's a video one where I'm like, hey, to read this, the thing that I'm showing you, you're going to have to hold the mirror up, but it's perfectly fine to anybody watching it.
Sure.
So, joke's on me on that one. The second thing, which was the thing that I was talking about and then forgot, because we were talking about audience Facebook engagement, I was thinking that we maybe need to try and come up with something that we can post on there a little bit more regularly to try to encourage some discussion. You know, whether it's a poll question or tell us your thoughts on X.
And that was my thing. I was like, hey, what's your favorite, no favorite moments because this show sucks.
Hey, we're big in South Dakota, man. We're big in South Dakota.
Is that just because all of your relatives are watching?
I don't know. That was just when I was looking at the statistics. I noticed I can now actually go in on the geography, and I can go just like United States. And yeah. So if I click there, we'll go view more so I get them all. Let's see. We've had 11 downloads from South Dakota, 10 from North Dakota, 3 from California, 2 from Minnesota, 2 from New York, 1 from Michigan, 1 from North Carolina, 1 from Tennessee, 1 from Virginia, and 1 from Wisconsin, and 2 from unknown.
And from parts unknown. All right.
Note the lack of Iowa and Nebraska.
Yeah, there's definitely a lack. And you weren't on yet, but I asked and was then disappointed shortly thereafter. Because I was met with the, haven't had time to check it out.
I see.
And then I'm like,
I see.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever.
Come on, guys.
Whatever.
It's an hour a week.
Right.
Except for that one episode that's like 2 hours, but it's an hour a week.
Yeah. So we did not score on the minute of power play time. We did not score on the 4-on-4 minute, and we just killed the minute of penalty.
Fun. I was going to say, my wife and I were talking a bit about it, and she said that she was she listened through the first 2 episodes. She's through the Star Trek alphabet book part of episode 3. She said, but then she ran out of time working nights. I said, well, you could listen to it during the day. She goes, sometimes I can. She goes, but this whole next week I have a student, so I can't. I said, no, you still do. And then when the student, asks, you make it a teaching moment to go, I listen to Beer, Blues, and BS. It helps me get through the shift.
Keeps things entertaining.
So.
I'm waiting to show you my beverage this evening because it is a surprise.
Oh,
It's a roulette beverage of sorts.
you know, I just got
Good job
the
breaking up that pass. Yes.
just got the last episode edited during my lunch break today, and originally I was going to call it, and I probably still will, cheap plugs, because that's the episode where you were just like cheap plugging throughout the entire episode.
Sure.
But we got to the part where you were choking on the lime from the lime and prickly pear.
Right. Didn't I?
And
he's joining as Kyle though. So he's gonna have he's gonna have to switch. Did you deny his entry because of it?
no, I hit admit.
Oh,
So there he is.
Kyle, you may have to switch over to your Rude Boy account.
I thought I was.
I believe you are under your
Oh, okay. Let me log out then.
Shui. Well, it's up to you. You don't have to. It's just a recommended suggestion.
Yeah, well, let me do that real quick.
Control Alt Delete.
Anyway, we got to the point where
I was choking.
where you were choking, and I thought to myself, you know, if it wasn't too long of a title, I would put it, "If the lime doesn't kill you, the cheap plugs will," and make that the title.
Yeah.
I think that just might be the opening line of the description, though.
Of course, it's too long.
Well, I mean, nothing is too long. There's no rules in podcast titles.
Oh, I gotcha. Why, Rude Boy Kyle?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me fine?
Hello.
Hello.
We
You
were
guys
just
can hear me
talking
fine?
about past episodes. Yeah. So far, so good.
My Johnny Taves cup.
1-9er. Tazo 1-9er. Sweet. Well, we got the band back together.
Let's see.
Yeah, and we can't call Nick tonight because he's out with friends. And we're not there, so I don't know who he's out with or what he's making up. So,
What's this other friends thing, you know?
right?
Change. Suppose I can leave my background normal.
And make sure you in your settings that you turn your camera from auto to 720p, so high definition. Only quality on this podcast. Utmost excellence.
Video.
Video. Mute.
High def.
Turn off
def.
camera.
All right.
Whoop
That's
whoop.
about as best as I'm going to get.
Here we are. Well, you're the one that's running on a computer that's from this decade, so.
That's correct. It's only
Two?
about a little over a year old, I guess. Year and a half, maybe. Because I got it like basically right when Modern Warfare came out.
Let
me see. I might be able to turn my lighting down a little bit. I've got my Wi-Fi bulbs and
Holy shit!
that's a little better. Doesn't reflect so much off the specs.
Yeah. I feel like I need to put my glasses on too, but my main pair is at work. So I'd have to put on my old pair. Yeah. This. You don't even fit anymore. You know, I remember saying something like that, but we've moved on from there, and we decided to talk about this.
Sacrificial beer.
Sure.
I don't think you were on yet when we had Kyle and Nico on. We had some really great conversation while we were waiting for you. I wish that was in the podcast, but we didn't get that recorded.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we were talking about was, at least for me, and they kind of agreed. Seems like when I drink beer, the first one I never noticed like any real difference. It's like, oh, this is beer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so now that I have these interesting beers that my wife picked out, for me to get the full, like, fresh taste of them, I have to drink a sacrificial beer before that.
Yeah, fair enough. One for the beer gods.
Right.
One from homies.
Yeah, so I got a Budweiser Select here that I'm quickly trying to down so I can drink this thing that's over
Select.
here. It's a decent sacrificial.
Well, look at you making a concoction.
Well, you know, it is episode 10, so.
Number 10?
This is going to be number 10. And so, way back in, I think, like episode 5 or 6, I said episode 10, Bud Light and Green Olives. So,
you know, that's a great idea. I have 2 jars of olives and no Bud Light.
I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah.
I even thought it was such a good idea
that you went and bought some.
I got the second one right here.
Now I feel very disappointed in that I should run to the liquor store.
Just so long as this podcast doesn't go 2.5 hours.
Well, at that rate, it probably would.
Yeah, it's okay. I got episode 9 edited. It gets really glitchy.
What?
About the time I quit? Yeah. Well, at least my stuff. You and Kyle are fine.
Oh,
but I'm
phoning a friend.
You're phoning
my lifeline. Yeah. Pulling my lifeline for this episode.
Didn't know we had lifelines.
I mean, why not? You got to make it through the show somehow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be NBC without a commercial. But you don't know. Then you have.
You know, Kidder, up on State Street, there's a billboard, and it's got a young lady smiling proudly, cowboy hat. I think she's wearing like a American flag-esque shirt, and I forget what exactly the product was, but the whole gist of the sign is Stellabrate with, and then the product is Stella something. I can't remember what the second word was. And I just wonder if that model, when they took the photo for that, realized, like, I'm going to be on a giant billboard with a terrible pun. You know, does that show up in her portfolio? You know,
I'm sure it does now. She makes 8x10s, signs them when her fans request them. I wouldn't doubt it anyway. Well, my beer's getting warm. I think I'm ready to roll, and you're gonna run out of beer, so
I haven't even cracked the second one. So,
okay.
Listen, I was dedicated to this. I even got the olives down here, so I'm ready. You know,
Perfect.
I'm ready. There won't be a thing of Howard getting up and running upstairs to get a second beer.
Mm-hmm. See, I just don't want it to get warm because since we talk so long.
It's not going to last that long.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
You know, I didn't add up how many drinks I ended up having last episode, but it was quite a bit.
Good.
Because the last, like, I think it's like the last 30 minutes, because I was glitching so bad, I really couldn't contribute. So I was just listening to you guys talk, and I was sitting here just kept pouring more ice hole and drinking it.
Why not?
Like, I got nothing else to do, so I'm just like, So.
That's kind of
all right.
I saw this photo, and I was kind of craving a kokanee.
Really? Why?
Because the last time I think I had one was when we were in Montana. And it was a good time.
Yeah, but that wasn't because of the kokanee.
Right.
Besides, if I wanted to relive my Montana days, I'd get Cold Smoke.
Oh, I thought you were just going to find a Kia Optima and drive it through the woodland area.
Hey, I could.
I will try and get you guys some Cold Smoke next time I'm up at my in-laws.
And where
That would be-
might
that'd be-
that?
It's up in northeast Montana, but they do carry it up there.
Yeah,
That's
anytime
Jake's
I go to
favorite
Montana,
beverage.
anytime I go to Montana, I always bring some back, and then I hoard it like it's going out of style. Because I never know when I'm going to get back to a part of Montana where I'm going to get it. So
Right. The good news is you can seemingly get it on the eastern side now. So
yeah, I know. I found it the last time I was in Billings, and it was like, woohoo! I was not expecting to get this here. So
they're only
They
about
don't,
20
you know,
miles from the border. So
yeah, no, well, and Montana doesn't necessarily have blue laws, but they do limit when you can buy alcohol.
Yep.
And one of the times when Lefty and I were traveling, can't remember if it was home or back to North Dakota, we were at a gas station and she found Cold Smoke and she tried to buy it for me just to surprise me, like, hey, we found it. They wouldn't sell it to her.
Oh no.
I was so mad. She's like, seriously? Oh, no, can't. Not for another hour. She's like, we're not waiting an hour to get you Cold Smoke. So,
Even though you wanted to.
well, of course, it's Cold Smoke. Me and the English teacher I taught with up there, we once emptied our entire keg of Cold Smoke.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where were you
That
at
was
in
a good time.
Montana? Like Great Falls area?
No, I was up in the little tiny town of Eureka, Montana.
Okay.
And Derek apparently knows enough Montana geography that he knows where that is.
Vaguely.
Most people I have to say, you know where Kalispell is? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like an hour north. So
What town?
It's on the opposite end of where my in-laws live because they're 20 miles from Canada and 20 miles from North Dakota. So I'm thinking Eureka's like 20 miles from Canada and 20 miles from Idaho.
no, it's a bit further to Idaho, about an hour. And then it was like all of like 5 miles to Canada. I used to make the joke that I could see Canada from my house.
We say that about her house, her in-laws too. So
Yeah, except she's on the eastern side, so that's just flat.
yeah, it's flat, so you actually can.
Yeah, see, and me, I could like stand out on my porch and see the mountain range in Canada and go, "There's Canada." So I had the pretty view. I was on the pretty side of the state.
Right.
Well, get her just so you feel better. There, it's gone.
Wow. It only
There.
took him an hour.
Why does it bother you so much that I drink so
It
slowly?
doesn't bother me.
It seems to bother you.
Well, it's not a bother.
Yeah,
No,
you
no
just,
bother.
You just seem to always have to feel the need to gripe about it.
Just
Is
a little.
Is there some issue with this?
Just a little.
I fully admit I'm the slowest drinker in the West. It's not like that bothers me.
At this rate, you're going to have to move to Mandan.
Gosh, now you're insulting the guest.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because, if it were the West, then, you would have beat Derek or be farther west than him, because he finished his before you did. I'm tired. Leave it alone.
I was going to say, if the title is for the slowest drinker, then wouldn't I have still had beer and he would have finished his?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got to be a math equation like Chris has 8 beers and Derek has 4. How many beers does Mark have?
I thought you were going to get a train in there somewhere.
Because the train from Mandan is coming to Bismarck at 42.8 miles per hour. And then there's got to be like a fruit cart in there too. Derek has 8 pounds of blueberries.
Sweet. Peter, you'll be glad I almost finished this one. And I didn't get home until like 7:40.
So it was in the fridge from yesterday.
Had to quickly eat dinner because, of course, I haven't eaten anything all day. So it's like, oh boy, it's gonna be a long show if I have to have 3 beers by the end of it.
The 2 that I brought you guys are pretty light, so
pretty light. Hopefully, without giving it away, Derek, hopefully you'll have that other one for him.
Hey, Kidder.
Yeah.
Do you want a hot take?
Absolutely.
Kidder, kids these days are assholes.
This should be good.
Yeah, so I took Junior to the park this week. And, granted, I chose a bad night to take him to the park. The thought was, Lefty was coming off of 4 nights. She had both kids. She was tired. I'm like, you know what, Lefty, I'm going to do you a favor. I'll take Junior after dinner. Junior and I will go to the park. We'll burn off some energy. You can just chill at home with little miss. That'll be good. So I took Junior to the park. Apparently it was soccer night, Kidder. So the playground we went to is right next to some soccer fields. So there was a ton of kids at the park. But we were there, and I'm like, okay, well, it'll be all right. Junior needs to meet some kids. He needs to interact with some kids his own age. We'll be fine. So me and Junior walk over to the playground. He's all excited because there's kids everywhere. He's like, oh, yeah, this is going to be great. He's just thrilled. And for those who don't know, Junior has apraxia, which basically means that he struggles to speak and move at the same time. So it's something that we've been working on, but he's got a very limited vocabulary, and he's getting better all the time. And he says more and more, but he does struggle with it. He does tend to drop out the middle of words and phrases. So his Uncle Aaron, he always refers to as un-an. So uncle, and then just the and, so un-an. But he can say hi really well. And so he gets there, and of course he starts saying hi to kids because he's a friendly guy. He just wants, to play with them. And most of the kids who were on the playground were older than him. So, he goes and says hi to this girl. She says hi back. He says, and again, he's 2. So he says hi again, and she says hi back, and he says hi again, and she's like, I'm not talking to you. So she just stops talking to him because, she doesn't understand that he's 2, and, he it's tough. So he had that run in. And then he was playing around with some, and there's a section of the playground where there's kind of an under area, and he went down there, and there were a couple of kids who were sitting down there on a cell phone playing a video game. I think they were hiding from their parents, that the parents didn't know that they were sitting on the phone playing the game. Again, Junior, being friendly, is like, hi. And they don't really acknowledge him, and he goes off and plays for a bit. He comes back and he's hi again, and these kids yell at him to get out and leave him alone. It's like, guys, come on, just be cool. But the worst of it, Kidder, and I do know the kid's name, but I'm going to protect it because I'm a decent human being. Anyway, Junior's climbing up the stairs to go back up to the top, and these two older kids are coming down. The one is wearing a Grogu shirt. Grogu is the name of the child or baby Yoda, for those of you who know your Mandalorian. And Junior is super into Grogu. And so this kid comes down, and Junior, being friendly, goes, hi, Grogu. And the kid ignores him. The other kid behind him, who I will refer to as Red Shirt, because one, he was wearing a red shirt, but two, the Star Trek reference would make me feel better, immediately gets right into Junior's face and does this whole, hi, Grogu, just being an asshole. The kid is 2. Now, Junior is tall. He is. He looks like he's older than 2, but he's 2. And this being the sweetest kid that he is, doesn't faze him. And he ends up going up there, and he's going around, and he wants to go down the slide, but these bigger kids keep running up the slide. And there's a couple times he slides down and he runs into people, because it's a slide, you go down it. So he's trying to go down one time, and Red Shirt happens to be climbing the slide and just gets again in his face and hey, you don't get to come down the slide. Go away. I'm like, okay, asshole. You're lucky that you're probably only 8, but still, stop picking on the 2-year-old. He then follows Junior over to the other side of the playground and basically Junior was wearing a hat. It was a Thomas the Tank Engine kind of bucket hat. This kid starts oh, hey, look at your hat, trying to pretend to be friendly. Junior's being nice to it. But the kid, as soon as Junior turns away, kid grabs the hat and jumps off the playground and starts running away with it. And I watched it and just started moving into a direction. So this kid starts coming around the playground, and I'm standing there giving him this old stink eye. And he kind of realized oh, well, okay, I should maybe bring my... But he spends the next 10 minutes just taking him, putting the hat back on Junior, and then waiting until Junior's not paying attention, and then stealing the hat and running away again. Expecting some reaction. Junior's just kind of oblivious because there was so much action to it. But it's clearly that this kid was trying to bully him, And I'm like, this guy is just... He was just an asshole. Finally, his parents show up and catch him with Junior's hat. And they're like, hey, Red Shirt, is that someone's hat? That's not yours. You need to give it back. And so he reluctantly gave it back. And the mom just rode his ass about everything that he was doing. Junior tried to go down the slide, but again, couldn't go down because kids were climbing up. Red Shirt tries to step over him to go down. And the mom's like, hey, don't do that. And needless to say, he eventually got kicked off the playground by his mom, but it was annoying. And there were some other big kids who were playing tag. And for the most part, most of them were being good, and realizing like, hey, he's smaller than us. He's not playing. He's now just kind of a cool new obstacle because like, oh, he's going down the stairs. Guess we can't use the stairs. It just like they played around him. But one kid, he got tagged because Junior was in the way. Like immediately is like, gets in his face and is like, hey, are you playing tag? Can I tag you? And I'm just like, hey, buddy, he's 2. Knock it off. But it was just like, we went to the park and it's like every interaction that Junior tried to have with a kid, they were just assholes to him. One kid who was about his size, like, again, Junior's trying to go down the slide. He's waiting his turn. This kid just shoves him out of the way to go down. I'm just like, is every kid on this playground an asshole? It was just, it was sad and it was depressing. And it's just like, where the hell are parents and what are we teaching kids? I mean, it was the most disheartening thing, Kidder. I felt so bad for him as we went back to the car because it's like all he wanted to do was play with these other kids and be friendly and have a good time. And he was fine. Like being 2, he didn't like, it didn't register like everybody's being a jerk to me. But I just couldn't help but like feel sad for him. It's like every kid he tried to interact with, that was their mindset was be a jerk, be a bully, be an asshole. This was a sad thing for think about. So that was my hot take, is that kids these days are assholes.
I don't even take it as just the kids, because the kids are a product of their parents who are also assholes. And there are a lot of assholes around that think that they're hot shit, but they are just pieces of shit. And they can be hot shit, but they're flaming pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And there are too many of them.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my hot take. And okay, there's my sound machine. Had to find it. Calvin was down here. He was pushing all the buttons. The best part about it, I wish you could have been on to see it, because every time you push the button, he has started head bobbing to music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so whenever like any music plays, like he'll look at you and be like, "Yeah," which gets really funny when he starts. Yeah, when you have some of these that aren't, you know, really like head bobbing songs, you know, it's
You're right.
It's cute. It's really cute.
Calvin.
Yeah. Sound engineer's finally here.
Go and push the buttons.
He will. Mom just handed him the control. So
He's got to do his job for his bedtime.
I think that's his favorite.
He's got food in his face.
hard to say. Hard to say. He just likes spamming different buttons. Every now and then he gets his timing right, and it's actually pretty funny.
Nice.
So.
Yeah. That's a coaster.
It's a scary coaster, apparently.
It's a hockey puck poster or coaster.
Very good. Very good. Yep.
Oh,
Show's
I
over.
don't think there's
See you
so
later.
you should be kind.
You gonna steal my coaster? Is that what's happening here?
From the Ralph unit. It's a quality coaster.
You know, sometime I want to take him like shopping, have him in the stroller with this thing.
That'd be good.
Just to
Time
see
it
what other
out.
people's reactions are, you know?
Yeah, I bet Uncle Mark has one too.
I don't know. I would think
Thank
he
you.
does, but
I don't know where we got him, other than the Ralph. But
I don't know if Kidder got the Fighting Sue hockey puck
it
poster.
just says Ralph Engelstead, doesn't it?
The other ones do.
I don't believe I did.
Aw. Hey, that's actually a Fighting Sioux product that I have. The Kidder doesn't.
You're the only one. No, you don't need that. Drop the puck.
Yeah. Yes, the most dramatic 3 seconds on the internet.
My favorite
I
video.
get that one right? Huh? Did I get that one right?
The best 3 seconds on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hockey, hockey, hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Hoi, hoi, hoi.
You're going to mess with all my settings, aren't you? Don't hit that button. You don't know what that does. It doesn't make noise.
None of them make noise.
Yes, I think you hit them hard enough.
They also fall off on the keyboards if you hit them hard enough.
You need one of those mechanical keyboards.
Okay, but you should probably go give you a bath and put you to bed.
Yeah. All right.
And say goodnight to Dad. And he's like, no, I want to sit here.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye. All right. Good night, Bubs. Ready?
Oh, I think you gained 3 pounds.
You got to leave that though.
I guess.
You're gonna hear that in the middle of your night, middle of the night. And
Say good night, I love you.
And I'd almost take that over the crying.
I can't believe that Howard said something like that. Like, why would Howard end up saying something like that? Because he says something like that, and then he says something like this.
You know, I got to stop suggesting these holiday episodes. You keep like outshining me. I mean, the shirt, the necklace.
You can't see that it blinks. Well, it doesn't blink, it lights up. But the battery is also like 2 years old.
Still, I mean, your green lights work. Mine are still blue.
It's even a Guinness. Look at that, huh?
Yeah. Well, at least I have a hat.
There. Now you can actually read that it's a Guinness. Oh, we're pulling out old school, Howard.
You know, it's like the most Irish thing I have, or at least St. Patrick's Day thing I have. So,
I see.
you know. And I probably wouldn't have even remembered I had this, except we did the Christmas episode where I was going through all the hats. So, you know, the one where I put on that werewolf mask and burned my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
Did you notice?
Good times. No, I don't, but unlike you, Mr. 4-screen setup, I have one screen. And half of it is this meeting. The other half is the run sheet. So I don't get like the full widescreen Kidder. I get like box screen Kidder, you know.
So that just proves we need to start a campaign to get Howard a bigger setup so he can multitask.
Yeah, I don't even know where I'd put it.
At least dual monitors. We'll mount them on the wall.
I like my walls, though. I'm going to put some art up on these walls. They'll eventually contain art.
Well, think of it this way. The art that you put up can change because the monitors can have whatever you want on them.
I don't want the art to change. I mean, I got King Kong, the Blues Brothers, and Van Gogh's exploding TARDIS all sitting there ready to be hung up in this spot. And truthfully, with the ledge that runs on that side, I mean, I don't really have a lot of wall space. I have really this wall with my painting desk. And then there's this one wall kind of right over here. That's all my walls. And Kidder took off his headphones so he doesn't have to listen to me explain all of my wall art hanging locations. I have bored him to tears. And now I can't hear you.
That's just it. We just need to get you another house so then you have more walls.
I have plenty of walls. Plenty. But the Cave of Wonder only has so many walls. It's a small cave.
It's not very wondrous.
Oh, it's very wondrous. It is full
Wonder
of
why it's still in
goodness
business.
Come on, I got like 6 feet of pirate ship down here. I got hundreds of board games. I'm good, man. I am good.
Okay.
You have a visitor.
Hi, Orion. Here, come up. Up. Do you have something to tell me? Are you missing your toy?
Gonna say he's saying throw the dolphin, Dad. Throw the dolphin.
And see now, oh, you can't see it. We also have the little mouse. Let me see if I can. I'll show you, and then we can start this thing.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It's over there. We got the dolphin.
Yep.
There he is. Little dolphin. And then there's this little mouse thing. I think it's a mouse. Wearing a tutu. What?
I can just see Orion down in the corner. He's just looking at you like, Dad, give those back, Dad. Those are my toys, Dad. Stop it. Throw them, Dad. Dad.
Right up here. Come. Chip up.
No, just throw them, Dad.
Look at that, huh? Good kitty. Okay, ready? Ready, Orion? Yeah, go get him. The shadow, even. Oh, what a good kitty. What a good kitty. Here you go. And this one? Ready? I'll keep him busy for 3 seconds.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yeah. There he is. About 4 seconds.
Okay. Those pre-show stretches in. There we go.
I think either Freya or Orion there was trying to get you to give him a taste too.
Yep, that's Orion. He's really wanting to come on, sniff. You want to sniff it? See, now he's not going to do it. He's feeling pressured. He's got the spotlight. See, he's telling me. He's like, "Hey, the spotlight." I don't know, but and now something completely different. On the show, Brother Nico. I mean, Brother Nico and Rude Boy Kyle are kind of like the co-hosts whenever they want to be a co-host. They're just busy doing normal things aside from being on this show.
Playing Lawnmower Simulator.
Yeah. and you know, Rude Boy Kyle and I sat on the phone for 6 hours while both of us were playing the Lawn Mowing Simulator because there's no co-op. Where the money-making opportunity in a co-op lawn mowing game, right? Not just racing each other to mow, but teaming up to mow that property the best that you can mow it. Come on. Make it happen, Lawnmower Simulator. Let's go. Make it happen.
It's interesting because sometimes things grow on you, and I'll use this transition into something I've been watching, and it's something that I talked about way back in the early episodes of the show. Every now and then I watch Let's Plays of games, especially games I know that I'm just not going to ever play, and I talked about Resident Evil Village when it came out. Because I had watched several Let's Plays of the game before it, Resident Evil Biohazard. and had absolutely loved the game and the story told within the game and the atmosphere and all of that. And I had checked out the village, and in that past episode where I talked about it, I mentioned the fact that I just wasn't digging this Let's Play and the story of it. Well, recently I found myself needing something to have on in the background, and I don't know why. I decided to give it another chance.
I don't know why.
It's like, of all the things I could watch, why did I go back to this? And I think it was just part of me was like, I want to know what happens. Okay, I get that it's a little bit different than Biohazard, but I want to know. So I started watching it again, and I've made it through, on the Let's Play I'm watching, I made it through the first big boss fight. And I have to say, Kidder, I'm enjoying it more the second time around. I think part of it is because I already kind of knew that it was different than Biohazard. So my expectations were brought kind of into a more realistic view. And it's growing on me, and I'm enjoying it, and having a blast kind of watching this playthrough that I'm watching of it. So just wanted to say, just throwing it out there, my opinion has changed, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the kind of reference to the classic movie monsters, but then how they're changing up some of that. And yeah, it's getting pretty good.
I understand he's still recovering, so
yeah. And this is probably more talking than I've done in a week. So I've been checking that out.
So what's this Warhammer Total War?
You want to jump down to there? Okay.
I figured I didn't know if it was a video game or if it was a board game or something tied in with the Reaper or something.
It's not tied in with the Reaper. Warhammer is a a tabletop war game made by Games Workshop, and Games Workshop is what you would call the premier company when it comes to miniatures and war games. Their sci-fi offering, Warhammer 40,000, is the most popular war game in the world. But they're known then for their miniatures. In fact, Kidder, you actually have some Warhammer miniatures in that case. Behind other side. I painted these up as a diorama, and I have completed Kidder's version. I have not completed mine.
It's right over here behind the Star Trek Enterprise D pizza cutter and the glowing fighting Sioux sign.
Yeah, so I don't even know how many years ago it's been, Kidder, since I did this. But one year for Christmas, I made Kidder the diorama, and I did paint up stuff for them. But part of it was in tribute to us playing Halo, but I painted up Space Marines in the kind of colors we would wear in Halo. So this is actually Kidder and I. Kidder is rocking the Avs colors, and I am actually rocking the white and green of the Fighting Sioux. And much like when we drive a Warthog, Kidder, you're driving and I'm shooting. So keeping that realistic. But I also with it, and sometimes Kidder will have to show the diorama off. But there are also miniatures in here for our wives. Here's the one for yours, rocking the pink and the black. And then I have lefties right here, rocking the blue and orange colors that match our wedding colors. So here's that. So anyway, Kidder, as I said, it's a war game. And when I made the miniature or your diorama, I believe I put in there, if I forget what I quoted as the price on there. But anyway, Warhammer figures are incredibly expensive. It's just unfortunately kind of the way it is. It's an expensive hobby. If you were to build an army of it, you're looking anywhere from, I think the last I heard quoted, it costs you anywhere from $600 to $800 just to field a proper army.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it's expensive, which is why I do not own much Warhammer stuff. I have the figures I showed for the diorama. I have a set of the old school fantasy orcs that I got on sale cheap a long time ago. But I don't own a lot. So here's the problem, Kidder. Total War is a series of real-time strategy games put out by Sega. And they're a little bit closer to like a, I'd say like a Civilization than a StarCraft. Because you have cities and you have to control your building and you build technology and you do things like that. But in between doing that, you grow and you expand your territory through fighting battles. It's, as I said, a fantasy version. Let's jump to some of the actual combat. Yeah, so here you can see the armies, and these guys all go in rank and file. So when you control like a unit, you're controlling a unit that's like 100 troops. And of course, you go into battle with armies that are thousands of troops big and size and scope. So you can see here we got a battle starting. We'll cut to some actual gameplay. So here's kind of what your gameplay looks like. You can see all of his units down at the bottom. And you can see that they're grabbing them. There's artillery, there's magic, you can do charges. It's pretty massive in all of it. But I've been watching a lot of playthroughs of this, Kidder. And it's just, I don't know. It's kind of what I've been having on in the background while I've been painting all these Reaper leprechauns. And I enjoy following it. It's a complicated game. Like the people I watch, like they understand like this is a good decision or this is a bad decision. And like to me, I'm just like, I do not have the brain power nor the time to truly get this game. But here's the real problem, Kidder. It has got me jonesing to actually play a wartop, or wartop. I keep saying wartop. A tabletop war game. And that's just, a level of commitment and such that I just don't know that I have in me right now, or just even the time to put together. And let's face it, I'd have to put together 2 armies just so that whoever I could sucker into playing with me would be willing to. But it's one of those things, Kidder. It looks like a fantastic game and such, and I will continue watching it. But man, it's got me wanting to play, man. It's got me wanting to play. So that's what Warhammer Total War is. And if you're not into the whole fantasy thing, Kidder, they have been doing historical versions of Total War. So like the first one, I believe, was Total War Rome, but they have kind of jumped around and done a lot of different time period. Well, a lot of different ancient time periods. I don't know that they've ever done like a World War II or such version. Kind of a lot of the unique kingdoms and settlements and things like that. But yeah, if you're into a good real-time strategy game that has a lot of meat, there you go. Look out at the Total War series. So there you go. That's what I have.
Wonderful. Very wunderbar.
Yeah, it's as I said, it's crazy. It's like watching some of the, especially the really good ones on YouTube and such. It's like watching the biggest battle scenes from like Lord of the Rings and such, where it's these massive armies coming together. And like that video kind of showcased like some of the different animations and such that you can see, because like you can zoom in on the battlefield and you can watch your hero just come through and slice people up. And I'm watching one playthrough. They're playing as the Tomb Kings, which are kind of your Egyptian mummy-esque faction. And they have a thing where if you, as you kill your opponent, there's a meter that raises up, and when it gets to a certain level, you can summon in these super powerful Shopti warriors. And the first time that the guy who's streaming it did that, he zoomed in on it, and you're watching him just slice up orcs, and blood and body parts are flying there. Like it was just, it's like, wow, cool. So, yeah, it's crazy to think that they're, you know, like if you remember playing like games like Command and Conquer, you know, if you had an army that was, you know, 10 tanks and 50 troops, you know, that was a big battle, you know. But this is like thousands of individual moving characters and figures all on the battlefield all at the same time. It's impressive. It's just impressive. And there's all sorts of different things. The different factions all play differently. They have different goals, different ways to achieve those goals. It's cool. It's just fun to watch. So, in fact, I would argue, Kidder, it's much more fun than watching somebody mow a fake lawn.
You think so? I mean, really? Do you think so?
Yes, I know so.
But look how entertaining this is. Just look how entertaining this is, right?
I'm not going to lie, Kidder. I'm a little alarmed that you had this pulled up, because it makes me think that while I was doing all this talk about Warhammer Total War, you've just been mowing lawns.
This isn't even me, thankfully.
Oh, that's true. Who are those schmucks?
Those are the developers of the game, I guess. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sleep deprived and drinking a lot of beer. I'm getting
this. They apparently drew out a dinosaur in the grass with a trimmer. But yeah, look, there's a dinosaur right there. Not the dinosaur, but a dinosaur. The new DLC came out for Lawn Mowing Simulator. I haven't played any of it yet, so I don't know how it is. This is the first video that I've seen of any of the DLC. But look at that. You're in a map and you mow around dinosaurs and stuff. And I don't remember how long the sale is going. What do you got there? Mommy. Oh, he's not going to say anything either.
I'll say something. Yeah, if you've been watching and paying attention, you probably have seen this up on my painting desk, but it's Stonehenge. It's got a sign that says "Mow Me, Kidder." It's been sitting up there since you talked about the Britain DLC and how you hadn't mown Stonehenge yet. Have you done that yet, Kidder?
I mowed around some stones. I don't think it was Stonehenge. Maybe I did. It's very weird when you're playing it, because you don't just get to choose what lawn specifically. Like, I want to go mow that map. They give you a choice of 5 of them, and then you can choose one of them for yourself to play through, and then up to 4 others for when you hire employees, and then you have them go mow the different lawns of the different complexities and fine amounts. So if you run into something, or if you mow over the flowers, or you turn too quickly and damage the lawn, the low fine lawns, obviously very low, but at the high fine lawns, if you do something like that, you're getting fined a lot of money. So not good if you want to, do a good job and not lose a bunch of money. So the DLC, anyway, like I was saying, I don't know how long the sale. Let me see if I can find that. The new DLC again is Dino Safari DLC, goes with Lawn Mowing Simulator, and it just came out yesterday. In fact, Rude Boy Kyle told me about it before I even knew about it. He was so amped up to get it. The sale's over now. As of the airing of this, March 17th is when the sale ends, but 20% off, so one whole $1, and $4 is what you paid, what I paid, and what Rude Boy Kyle paid for that DLC. So that's, $4 for a game that can help you calm down. It was good. So there's that, and we'll see how their lawns get mowed in time. But maybe I'll have to set up, because I do have OBS on this computer. Maybe I'll have to set up the webcam and set up a mowing session, screen watching, send it over to you. One of them there things. I might have to do it. Maybe Orion can be in on. How about that, huh? Do you want to mow the lawn too? What do you say? What do you say? You want to mow the lawn? He said yes. I don't know if you could hear him, but he said yes. So, lawn mowing sons of bitches. No lawn in outer space, though.
So, anyway, they got the license to it because GW, when it comes to video games, basically says, you want a license to make a Warhammer video game? Okay, here you go. Hopefully it's good. Like, they just hand that license out like it's candy. Like, you want to make a video game on it? Sure, go for it. We're not in the video game business, but it'll get more people playing our game, so go for it. So I've been watching some playthroughs on this because it'd be probably the one version of Total War, and they're up to Warhammer Total War 3 just came out in the last few months. And but I've been watching some of that, just trying to learn the game a little bit in case I do ever decide to pull the trigger and maybe give this a try, for all that free time I have.
Yeah, so much free time.
Yeah, but it's just been one of those things I find myself watching and trying to understand this game and the decisions. And I've seen some people who they do a nice job of explaining what they're doing, and then I've seen some people and I'm like, I have no idea what you are doing or how you're trying to win this game, or so. But that's what I've been watching, Kidder, a lot lately. In fact, I was watching the Resident Evil playthrough while I was waiting for you. So I got another 12 minutes in while I was waiting for you to join the meeting.
I'm happy to help. Do what I can.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been watching?
No, that's pretty much it for what little time I have to watch things. So, but I'm guessing my yellow filter fell off, and hence, what the heck? There's a fly crawling across my ceiling. How'd you get in here? That's trespassing. I can legally shoot you now.
Feed him to the murder bird.
Yeah, murder bird's never around when you need him.
And you wanted to get rid of him. You wanted to imprison him or something. Look at the potential. He could be waiting for that insect.
Hey, Kidder, and you should deal with this. I mean, he is trespassing. I'd like to file a complaint.
Hey, come here. I got him. Got him. Got him right here. I'm going to take him out with some dust off. In other news, there's a non-severe thunderstorm rolling into Omaha right now. Brother Nico drove through it on the way back home to Lincoln. Said it got spicy at a couple points. So very sad that I'm not down there experiencing the great hockey, the great times, the great friendship, and the great thunderstorms. This is some bullshit that needs to get fixed.
Yeah. All we had was freezing mist. So
yeah, still the freezing drizzle. Which reminds me of Mr. Parker and I doing the Drizzle Chasers. I don't know if you remember that from the old K-Fire days.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was interesting. I don't know what time you headed for home, but I left
6:30 when it was still coming down.
Yeah. See, and I left at 4:30 and it was 4:45 was when I left, and it was bad, but what always surprises me is how people drive in weather like this. It's like it's clearly freezing rain, or mist. Slow down. Don't be stupid, but like I know I saw one truck in the ditch on 43rd as I was bringing Junior home. It's like why are you being stupid right now? Just go slow.
I guess there was a serious accident that shut down Highway 10. And as of like an hour ago, it was still shut down. Possibly a fatality involving a semi. And then the interstate was messed up in a few spots with multi-vehicle crashes. So Washington, like the main roads were fine because of all the traffic on them. They were still wet. But the minute I turned onto the side street here, I could feel it slick. And then, that first curve where it comes around to the straightaway up to my place, you turn and I'm like, feeling it slip out. It is pretty slick. And then the fact that I almost ate shit getting into my vehicle. And then when I stopped to get the mail and got out, almost ate shit trying to get out of my vehicle. Doing the splits, I don't like it. Not really meant to do that.
Yeah. I slid around a couple of corners, but it was like, we'll just take it easy because I'd like to get home safely.
Yeah.
Like some people apparently do.
Yeah.
I
I almost got hit on my way home today too. And it wasn't due to some idiot really like losing control or anything. It was at Divide in Washington. Somebody almost took a left right into me. Turning on the Divide.
There was somebody when I was coming back from the in-law, and it hit Centennial. I was on 43rd. It hit Centennial, and the light goes red, and this guy coming south and he had his hazards on, but he's laying on the horn, and he just runs like the red light, and like nobody moved. But it's like you're driving like that with your hazards on. What are you doing?
And as a piece from the law, if you are a volunteer firefighter responding to a call or whatnot, and even if you have flashing blue lights, which you're only able to have flashing blue as a class 3 emergency vehicle or class C emergency vehicle, you still have to stop for red lights and stop signs. You aren't able to proceed through them. So basically, if you have a red light and you're responding and you have your lights on, you just have to stop and wait for it to turn green like a normal vehicle. And you can't speed. Not that speeding is permitted by the regular law for Class A or B emergency vehicles. But just a little piece for you. Actually, they're a Class B emergency vehicle. A Class C emergency vehicles are tow trucks and highway maintenance vehicles or other construction equipment with the amber lights. Because I know you really wanted to know and you were concerned. So, I don't know how many of these damn things do we need. Oh, here. Sorry, we didn't mean to cut back to this. Here's. Watch this. You'll enjoy this. Ding dong. He's back.
I like my McDonald's headset. When you have severe hearing loss and tinnitus and church bells going constantly, these things work wonders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Welcome back. If you could, I'd like McDouble. Make it 2, actually, and large fry with no salt.
Ooh, would you like sauce on that?
No special sauce, please.
Well, you don't want any Big Mac sauce? The Big Mac sauce makes the McDouble.
Not today. That sounds sketchy. Maybe I'll tell. Howard will take a Big Mac, though.
Ah, there we go. Believe it or not, I worked at McDonald's my first year in college.
Tell us these juicy secrets, because then we can title this episode The Secrets of McDonald's, and then we can get millions of views for no reason.
I worked at the South Washington location, I believe, in the good old Grand of the Forks.
Ah, yes. Grande.
Yeah, and it was an interesting experience, put it that way. At this point in time, I'd been working construction for the last 3.5, almost 4 years, and I used that as my summer job. Well, I just figured, but it was February or something, and I'd blown through my summer job cash and figured, what the heck, I could use a few bucks. Go down to McDonald's. Why not? Yeah. Not only did the manager tell me I was overqualified for the job, but hired me on the spot when I walked in for my interview. Made it 2 months, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Because they kept putting you on the ice cream machine, you had to fix it.
Well, if any of you don't know, on their when you flip burgers, you have to sharpen the spatulas, because after thousands of burgers and whatnot, the spatulas get dull and they tear the burgers, and no one wants a torn burger. I went to my normal level of extremes with this, and had the spatulas so sharp that I could cut paper with the spatulas.
Sounds like boredom and job security all wrapped up in one.
Yeah. The manager had to pull me in the office and tell me that I'm specifically not allowed forever to sharpen the spatulas ever again, because there's absolutely no reason they ever need to be that sharp. And to which I think my reply was, I haven't torn a burger yet.
Doesn't it all sound like something you'd say? Not at all.
Yep. It was definitely an experience. I still have a scar on one of my forearms from the grill. The griddles in there that you make the burgers on are ridiculously hot, and I, for whatever, somehow ended up getting my forearm across the front of it and singed the crap out of myself on that griddle. The grilled chicken is disgusting. It sits in the McWarmer tray for hours upon end, because no one ever orders the grilled chicken. Everyone gets the crispy chicken. Don't order the grilled chicken. It's terrible. No.
Unless you request a fresh one, huh?
Yeah. No. Get the crispy. At least then it's deep fried and sanitary. We were not allowed to make our own meals. Somebody else had to make our own meals, so we couldn't spice up our meals and make them, extra good.
Mhm.
We did it all the time anyway, but there's a large amount of, I don't want to say intercourse that happens in the McDonald's, but as if from the McDonald's, there's a lot of how should we say,
Supersizing happening?
yes, intimate touching that occurs from the workers inside the McDonald's restaurants.
Heavy petting. Gotcha.
Yes, yeah, a lot of heavy petting goes on. Yeah, it's not a nice place. Avoid it at all costs.
Not the golden arches that you think it is, then, huh?
Oh, there's golden arches, all right.
Interesting.
Yes, people have been naked in the coolers. Yep. Things happen behind the scenes in those places, especially when the managers are gone.
Oh.
Of course, this is before the era of good in-house cameras. We had the cameras that were in there were, the ones that were the size of a trash can and weighed 70 pounds.
And running VCR tapes or beta or something like that.
Yeah. The DVRs were like 60 pounds. Yeah.
Is that a person or is that a grease spot? I don't know.
Yep. The floors in that place are disgusting. Yeah.
I knew a kid from high school who I can't remember if it was a McDonald's or a Burger King, but since you mentioned the floors, he was working in one of those places and he slipped on the floor and reached out to catch himself and put his arm up through his elbow into one of the deep fat fryers in there. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. That was
oof.
His arm was, we saw him afterwards. His arm was bandaged for, a long time after that.
I've gotten just splatter from the fryers is bad enough. Oof, I can't even imagine that. Oh.
Yeah, it's a bad day.
Oof. Yep.
Yeah. No, that one was bad. The only other one that I've ever heard of that was really bad, and it wasn't fast food, but I worked at LM Glasfiber up in Grand Forks making wind turbine blades. I did that for summer.
I did security there for 3 years, bouncing between there and All True Hospital.
You had the better gig at that. I'll tell you that. But I was in the finishing department on that, and for part of the last coat of stuff that we would put on of the gel coat, you put a chemical accelerant in it, and that stuff is nastier than anything. And one of the guys who I worked with, it was about a month or so after I had quit and left, was carrying a bucket of the gel coat with this accelerant in it, and he tripped and he went face first into it, and that was an ER visit. It's just like, ooh.
That accelerant was their invert, wasn't it? Wasn't that what they called it?
Here's the thing. I can't really tell you anything about it because they skipped the training when it came to me. When they hired me on.
Oh my gosh. Of course.
What had happened? Yeah, when they hired me on, it was part of this big hiring spree that they were doing because their factory in Spain had been lying about their numbers about how many blades they were producing. So there were a couple of the factories that they're like, okay, well, we're just going to hire a bunch of people and we're going to turn out extra blades and we're going to make up for this short. And so I was part of this massive hiring that they did. And anybody else who they hired, you're supposed to go through I think it's 4 days of safety training and all of the chemical stuff and all that. Somehow they missed me in all of that because I think there was more people that they were hiring than they'd ever hired before. And so I slipped through the cracks. So I didn't get to do any of the training. I just first day they brought me in, I was on the factory floor learning how to make these things firsthand. And so I was just following people's leads. Oh, okay, now we have to suit up. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, fine, putting this on. I'd worked there about a month before somebody's like, yeah, if you get that stuff on you, it'll burn you. It's like, holy shit. So
yeah, we never got any of the safety training. We just got told, don't touch that stuff. Okay. May I ask what year that was? I may have been there.
That would have been the summer of 2007 was when I worked there.
I started my security gig in 07, from beginning of 7 to 2010 when I finally got hired for the government. So I was probably there at the same time.
Probably. Yeah, that was a gig, and it's one that I never again will I ever do anything like that. That was the worst job I ever had.
Yeah, I hated that place. Absolutely hated going to that place. I did everything I could to avoid having to work out there. Put me in the hospital. I work doubles. I don't care. Don't send me to Glasfiber. I don't want to go there.
I don't know what was worse, him having to work the bad shift, 7 to 4, 7P to 4A, or noon to noon to when you're done.
Noon to when you were. No, it was 4 to when you were done. So you started at 4 in the afternoon, and it was whenever you got done. So
anywhere from midnight to 5 a.m. Come rolling in. Or the fact that Thule came home for lunch every day at around 11:15 and had to make the salad with all of the quintessential elements, including grabbing the plate, putting a piece of ham, because why buy diced or chopped ham or sliced ham and putting it on your salad? No, get a piece of luncheon meat ham, grab your knife and and then because you have to make it into smaller pieces, so you turn the plate 90 degrees and then and the part that I probably should have mentioned first is, as Howard came home anywhere again from midnight to 5 a.m., is sleeping on the couch in the living room because he's waiting for the more permanent place to live, and not having the luxury of headphones or something else, suddenly is awakened by
that. For the entire summer, that was my alarm clock.
Well, time to get up, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, hey there. Hey, how's it going? It was good until you got here.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. I haven't drank enough for this conversation. Better drink some more. So here's some more clips.
Technically, we're at around 100 with all of our episodes we put up, but the special episodes aren't really the episodes because those are special.
Yeah, and there's Howard's Cave of Wonder that we did. There's Kidder's log. So I mean, we've done a lot of different things in 50 episodes. It's amazing, but we'll have to save some of this talk for the 1 year, Kidder, because we've been talking for quite a while, which means it's time to wrap this show up with some cheap plugs.
For a second there, I thought that you were just going to say that you were looking forward to me getting tickets for Double or Nothing in Las Vegas and then having to do a Kidder's log all over again. But my wallet said, no, you can't. So we are not going to Dynamite, Rampage, and Double or Nothing in Las Vegas, although it would have been one hell of a trip. We will hopefully be going to another event at some point in the future. Probably not even the con this year. Because, again, the wallet, angry. So angry. Why are you angry? Don't be angry. Help me help you.
If it makes you feel better, Kidder, I started chugging this sour ale as a joke when you started talking about doing Kidder's Log again, which now was unnecessary when you tell me you're not going. So
yeah, the joke's on you.
Yeah, I took a hit for a joke that apparently I didn't need to. So anyway, let's wrap this up as I try and finish this.
Okay.
That was a pretty good episode.
Mm-hmm. That was good. I like the banter.
Oh yeah. I mean that's why you tune in to the Triple B for the banter.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Let me.
Well, Kidder, our past selves have been talking for quite a while. It's probably time we wrap this up and end this episode.
You are right. It has been quite a while, but never fear. The cheap plugs are here. Yes, they are here and they're bountiful. Cheap plugs aplenty. So, what about this? BeerBluesBS.com? What could that be? It's our website. Wow, what a concept. We have a website. Okay, yes, I'm not trying to sound condescending. It's more of an amazement, really. Let's just keep rolling it as an amazement because the website is not only a full-featured website where you can follow us on Facebook. Please do so. You can watch our YouTube videos and subscribe. Please do so. You can listen to us on various audio sources like Podbean, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, just to name a couple, plus your Amazon, Google, and Apple podcast sources in the audio version. So please subscribe to those, which you can get to through beerbluesandbs.com. You can buy us a beer so that when we're out, you can get us yet another beverage and help fund the show. So that's pretty awesome. So please do that. And then on top of it, well, you can get merch, sweet action merch. Ding. It's all at beerbluesbs.com. Get some pint glasses or pullovers or t-shirts or various things to show your love and affection or hatred towards certain other things. Great merch available at beerbluesbs.com. Even find out how to be a sponsor of this show at beerbluesbs.com. So let's wrap this whole special episode up. He's Howard Blues. He's staring at his can and not sure if he's done with it or if he wants another. I'm the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder, in search of another beer. So remember, always keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we will always catch you on down the dusty Tuscan Highway. We'll see you on the next one.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
So, I think we've killed enough time with this. But
Standard. Standard tradition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The show before the show that then eventually gets moved to the end of the show. Yeah. So, all right. So,
was it before or was it after? You'll never know.
Except for when they watch this session and go, "Oh, yeah, they did do this before."